boy, this, if you're watching live, is live on Wii Sport. But you know what? You could catch this show on my YouTube channel, GRASWORX. Just do a little YouTube channel search and you'll catch up with it. Or you could just look for On The Record. You could catch the playlist. They're up all day, all night. So anytime you feel for a little bit of Trini, elite, top level sports, and your boy Tay, of course. And you know, you could follow me on Twitter as well at TT Game Plan. And every Friday in Metro, look for the Sportline column. All right, that's your bottom line in Trinidad and Tobago and international sports. Tonight we're talking with Kibwe Trim. Kibwe, you've been all over the world playing ball. You're a young fella and you like to, you know, live hard. You know what I mean? Not in any kind of excessive way, but like for instance, you're telling me you do some diving. So now you get your dive certification.
Yeah.
You know, and but one of the riskiest things you ever did was come back here to play basketball for the Trinidad and Tobago team. What made it such a bad experience?
Oh man, you know, I don't want to blast them and say it was such a bad experience.
Say what you had to say.
You know, we just had a lot of problems. I think after the first game we played, I don't know whether the coach quit or he was fired, but our coach was gone.
What? After the first game?
After the first game we played.
And
we lost against Belize.
Right.
And then we played against Puerto Rico, which ended up winning the tournament. They had 3 or 4 NBA players. We beat Puerto Rico. In my opinion, we had a team that could have won that competition. In my opinion, we could have been unbeaten in that competition. But all these types of problems, financial problems, funding problems, whatever the situation with the coach was, I mean, it's not conducive to a winning situation.
You can't be doing that on the road.
I mean, there's no way.
You can't be trying to solve your HR problems while you're in the middle of a competition. That don't make kind of sense.
I mean, I hope that the Trinidad and Tobago national team will see a team that talented again, because in my opinion, it was a very talented team, and that was an opportunity for the Trinidad authorities to step up and give us a platform to make Trinidad and Tobago proud. We did what we could, but under those circumstances...
If they call you again?
I mean, it will have to depend on the situation. I mean,
you know what? You know, it's always tough to say no to something you really want to do. And I know you're a patriot. You know, coming down here tonight to the studio, you're talking about, you know, your choice of decor in your room. First thing to go up is always that flag. You know?
Of course.
When you go out there, I mean, you've been in some very exotic places. I mean, in Venezuela, they know Trini. But some of the other places like Romania, Korea,
most people have no clue. When I tell them Trinidad, is that Africa? They have no clue. But my job is to give you a clue. Matter of fact, more than a clue. I will let you know exactly where Trinidad is and, you know, what we believe in Trinidad.
Do you ever cook a pilau for one of these Romanians?
You
could cook a pilau in the first case?
Yeah, I could cook a pilau. But I haven't cooked for anyone yet a pilau.
You know, you talked about the love of the game and the way I approach this game, it's really, you had to see it too. You know, the way these fans respond to you, you know? I mean, it's genuine.
Definitely. I mean, like I said, I've played in so many different countries and I've always been treated wonderfully well. You know what I mean? The fans they love the game and they support us, but more than that, they support good people. And me, I always try to show the fans love. I act with humility. I try to make them see me just as they see themselves. I'm human just like you. You could interact with me on a human level. And they respond to that. So they treat me great. And
you know, that love is something, it's not just lip service. It's not just, I love my fans, I love this game. You've actually taken all your blessings and now you're giving it back. Tell me about the Dream Chaser Foundation.
I recently launched my foundation, Dream Chaser International Foundation. You can check it out at dcifoundation.com. And it's basically, you know, me, ever since I was able to go away and fulfill my dream of getting an education, first playing basketball at college level and then being a professional, I always told myself that when I could get the opportunity, I will go back to Trinidad, other parts of the world, because this is a global thing. Eh? So to let young people know, look at me. You could do whatever you want, whether it's sports, whether you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, an actor, comedian, anything you want, the world is your oyster. And that is my approach with Dream Chaser International, to let young people know that the world is theirs.
This week, on Saturday,
yes,
we have, there's a function. Tell me about what that function is.
Well, the function, basically, I set up some initiatives for all the academic institutions that played a role in my development. My kindergarten, I set up a painting competition. Elementary school, a writing competition. I'll be presenting a scholar athlete from CIC with an award, and also from the international school program with an award. So it's basically an award ceremony as well as a launch taking place on Saturday.
Right, and you mentioned, you touched on something quickly there, international school. Your international school, Port of Spain, it's probably one of the most expensive things you could ever get in. But you went to school in Saints. How you end up involved with international school?
Well, yeah, I played at Saints, but there was a program called Athletics for Higher Learning, Higher Education, and we used the ISPS facilities to conduct our practices. So there was a program which encompassed kids from different other schools, but it was under the ISPS umbrella because we were using their facility. They took us to a tournament in New Jersey in Seton Hall called, at that time, the Metro Classics. We were able to play some AAU basketball. There I got some exposure to American coaches. I received, I don't know, 15 scholarship offers, and the rest is history. Sacred Heart was where I landed.
You know, first thing you learn as a basketball coach is, I can teach you the game, but I can't teach you tall.
Right.
You know, you talked about being a 10-year-old 6-footer. You know, what else was very, very different about you growing up? That this lingy frame.
Well, what I would say is different was I knew that I wanted to be something. I wanted to be somebody. You know, I grew up with two parents that were educated and, in my opinion, very successful. And I saw that, and I knew that no matter what, I had to be successful. So the drive started, in my mind, the goal was to get an education at a U.S. institute. When I realized that basketball was going to be the tool, I latched onto that aggressively, because I knew that I had to make something happen. And that was it. My motivation was just the drive to be something and to be someone.
So when you see a kid, this kid doesn't necessarily have to be an athlete. So your program is not an athlete mentoring program. It's a program.
Yeah.
What do you want to see come out of this thing?
I mean, you know what? Driven, motivated young people. Whatever you want to be, as long as you're driven and motivated to do it, I want you to know that it can be done. People, I was 13 years old and almost 7 feet tall, and when I told people I was going to get a scholarship, going to play professional basketball, they were rolling on the floor laughing. So everybody will tell you no. But what I want out of this is for a young person who is saying, you know what, I want to be an actor, to know that, listen, if you want it, you could make it happen.
That's what we're saying. You know what? More things coming right back at you after the break. Don't go nowhere. We on the record.
Tonight.